There was a time when one job could build a life, a house, a family, a future. Now, those same factories are silent. The machines don't run anymore. The parking lots are empty. The windows are broken, and nobody's coming back. This is a story about what happened, not the version you hear from politicians, not the version they teach in schools. This is the version lived by real people, in real towns, who woke up one day and realized the world had moved on without them. Imagine waking up at 5 a.m., putting on your boots, grabbing your lunch pail, walking into a building where hundreds of people, just like you, showed up every single day. You didn't love every minute of it, but you knew what it meant. It meant your kids had shoes. It meant your wife didn't worry about the bills. It meant you were somebody. Today, many of those towns don't build anything anymore. The factories are still there, some of them, but they're just shells now. Rusted, quiet, forgotten. And the people who worked inside them? Some moved away, some tried to start over, some never recovered. This isn't a story about economics. This is a story about people. People who built this country with their hands, and then watched it disappear.
These hands once held the fire's glow, made the steel and kept it moving slow. Now just rust upon the gate, a lock that sealed our father's fate. We gave our sweat to build this town, but they came and shut it down. Left us standing in the cold, a story that's grown tired and old. The hands that built America, they just abandoned us.
Let me take you back. The 1950s, the 1960s, a different America. Detroit was roaring. Pittsburgh was burning hot with steel. Cleveland, Buffalo, Youngstown, all of them alive, all of them building. Back then, a young man could walk out of high school on Friday and start at the plant on Monday. No degree, no interview suit, no resume, just a handshake and a willingness to work. And that job? It paid enough to buy a house by the time you were 25. It paid enough to raise 3 kids. It paid enough to take your family on vacation once a year. One job, one paycheck, that was enough to build a life. Today, entire neighborhoods sit empty. Back then, they were full of workers coming home after a 10-hour shift. Front porches, kids playing in the yard, the smell of dinner coming through the screen door. You didn't need a degree. You needed discipline. You needed to show up. And if you did, the system took care of you. Factories weren't just jobs. They were identity. They were community. The guy next to you on the line? He was your neighbor. His kid played with your kid. You went to the same church. You drank at the same bar on Friday night. That was the deal. You give your body, your time, your sweat, and in return, you get a life worth living. Back then, almost everyone knew someone who worked in a factory. Maybe your father, your uncle, maybe even you. People took pride in that work. It meant something. It meant stability. Did someone in your family work in a factory like this? What did they do? Tell me in the comments. I read them. Then something started to change. Slowly at first. So slowly. Most people didn't even notice. It was the late 1970s. Then the 1980s. The orders started getting smaller. The overtime disappeared. A few guys got let go. Not many. Just enough to make people nervous. Nobody said anything out loud. But you could feel it. Something was shifting. Companies started talking about efficiency, about restructuring, about staying competitive. And somewhere, far away from those factory floors, decisions were being made. Decisions in boardrooms, decisions on Wall Street, decisions that had nothing to do with the men and women actually doing the work. While American factories were still paying middle-class wages, other countries were learning to produce cheaper, not better, not smarter, just cheaper. And for the people making decisions at the top, cheaper was all that mattered. The workers didn't know it yet. The towns didn't know it yet, but the ground underneath them was already cracking. New machines started showing up on the floor, machines that could do the work of 10 men, then 20. Nobody explained what that meant. They just said, "Don't worry, things are changing, but we'll be fine. We'll be fine." How many times have people heard that sentence right before everything fell apart? The truth is, it wasn't fine. It was the beginning of the end, and the people closest to it, the ones with the calluses and the steel-toed boots, they were the last ones to find out. It didn't happen all at once, that's the thing people don't understand. It wasn't one big explosion, it was a slow bleed. First, they cut your overtime. Then they cut your hours. Then they started calling it temporary layoffs. Imagine being told, "We're cutting your hours, just for now." Just for now. You go home. You sit at the kitchen table. Your wife looks at you and asks, "What happened?" And you say, "Nothing, it's temporary." Because that's what they told you, and you believed it. Because you'd been there 15 years. Because your father worked there before you. Because places like that don't just close, but they do. At first, people thought it was temporary, a rough patch, a slow quarter, something that would pass. But the hours never came back. The guys who got laid off, they didn't get called back. And the ones still working, they were doing the jobs of 3 people for the same pay. The stress came home with them. Fathers who used to laugh at the dinner table went quiet. Mothers who never had to work a second job suddenly did. Kids noticed. They always notice. The house got quieter. The bills got louder. And still, people held on. Because what else do? You don't just walk away from 20 years. You don't just give up on the only life you've ever known. So you keep showing up. You keep punching that clock. And you keep telling yourself, it's temporary. Then the real shift happened. The 1990s, the 2000s, a whole new world opened up. And it wasn't a world that had room for American factory workers. While American workers earned enough to build a life, factories overseas could produce the same goods for a fraction of the cost. The same television, the same pair of shoes, the same steel beam, made somewhere else, shipped across the ocean, sold for less. China didn't just compete, it changed the rules of the game. In the year 2001, China joined the World Trade Organization, and after that, the floodgates opened. Factories didn't just slow down, they shut down, one after another, month after month, town after town. The numbers were staggering, but this isn't about numbers. This is about the man who walked into work on a Tuesday morning and found a padlock on the door. This is about the woman who got a letter in the mail saying her pension was gone. This is about the kid who came home from school and found his father sitting on the porch in the middle of the day, with nowhere to go. While production moved overseas, entire American communities were left standing still. I once read about a factory in Ohio. It had been running for decades. Then one year, production moved overseas. And within months, it shut down. Hundreds of people lost their jobs at the same time. If you know stories like this, maybe from your town, share it below. What happened? What changed after that? Drive through the Rust Belt today. Go to Gary, Indiana. Go to Flint, Michigan. Go to Youngstown, Ohio. Look around. You'll see houses with no people in them, schools with no kids, main streets with no stores, factories with no machines. These were real places, full, living, breathing communities. While production moved overseas, entire cities were left behind. Not struggling, not adjusting. Left behind. Imagine your town losing its biggest employer. Not for a year, but forever. What happens? First, the workers leave and the ones who can. Then the small businesses close, because nobody's buying. Then the schools shrink because families are gone. Then the churches get quieter. Then the bars get busier. And eventually, what's left isn't really a town anymore. It's a memory of something that used to be alive. The buildings are still there. Some of them. The roads, the signs, the old diner on the corner. But the soul is gone. A town isn't just buildings. A town is the people inside them. And when the people leave, or give up, or fall apart, the town dies with them. That's what happened across America. Not in one place, not in one state, across an entire region. Millions of people, millions of lives, changed forever. And the rest of the country? Most of them didn't even notice, because it wasn't their town, it wasn't their factory, it wasn't their father sitting in a dark living room at 2 in the afternoon, wondering what went wrong. This is the part nobody wants to talk about. Not the factories, not the buildings, the people. A man works a job for 25 years, gives everything he has, shows up every day, misses his kids' school plays, works through pain, does what he's told. Then one day, it's over. No warning that matters. No plan. No safety net that actually works. Just done. What does that man do? He's 50 years old. He knows how to run a machine that doesn't exist anymore. His back hurts. His knees are shot. And the world is telling him to learn computers. It wasn't just jobs that disappeared. It was meaning. Men who built things with their hands were left with nothing to build. Some tried to adapt. They went back to school at 48. They sat in classrooms with kids half their age. Some made it, most didn't. Some turned to drinking, some turned to pills, some just stopped trying, stopped hoping, stopped leaving the house. The opioid crisis didn't come out of nowhere. It landed right on top of communities that were already broken. While new wealth was being created elsewhere, these towns were trying to survive. Young people left. The ones with ambition, the ones with options. They packed up and never came back. What was left behind? The old, the tired, the ones who couldn't leave. For a lot of people, this wasn't just about losing a job. It felt like losing a part of who they were. Some people felt anger. Others felt abandoned. Some just felt empty. How does this make you feel when you see towns like this today? So what came next? People still needed to eat, still needed to pay rent, still needed something to do, but what replaced those factory jobs? Retail, fast food, warehouses, delivery. A factory job could support a family. A retail job barely supports one person. Same man, same work ethic. Different world. A man who used to make $25 an hour building engines now makes $12 an hour stocking shelves. He works just as hard, maybe harder. But the math doesn't add up anymore. No pension, no union, no security, just a schedule that changes every week and a paycheck that doesn't cover the bills. And they call this progress. They say the economy adapted. They say new jobs were created. But ask the guy working 2 part-time jobs with no benefits if this feels like progress. Ask the woman who used to run a machine that built parts for airplanes and now scans groceries for a living. This isn't about being ungrateful. It's about being honest. The jobs that replaced factory work are not the same. They don't pay the same, they don't feel the same, they don't build the same kind of life. And deep down, everybody knows it. The politicians know it, the economists know it. The CEOs who made those decisions 30 years ago, they know it too. But knowing it and doing something about it, those are 2 very different things. Here's the part that's hard to say out loud. We all benefited from it, at least on the surface. Things got cheaper. Televisions, clothes, furniture, electronics. You could walk into a store and buy a shirt for $5, a toaster for $10, a flat-screen TV for a few hundred. We got cheaper products, but at a price we didn't fully see, because behind every cheap product, there was a factory that closed, a town that emptied, a family that broke apart. We traded something invisible for something visible. We traded stability for convenience. We traded identity for low prices. And for a while, it felt like a good deal, but it wasn't. Not for the man in Michigan who lost his job. Not for the woman in Pennsylvania whose husband started drinking. Not for the kid in Ohio who grew up watching his town fall apart. The price was real. We just didn't pay it at the register. America used to build things. That was part of its identity. And for many people, it still should be. Do you think the U.S. can bring that back, or do you think that time is gone for good? Those factories didn't just make products, they made lives. They made Christmases with presents under the tree. They made summer vacations at the lake. They made men feel like men. They made women feel safe. They made kids believe the world made sense. And when they disappeared, something else disappeared with them. Not just income, not just jobs, purpose. The feeling that you matter, that your work matters, that your town matters, that your life is going somewhere. We can argue about policy. We can argue about trade. We can argue about who's to blame and what should have been done differently. But none of that changes what happened. Real people, real families, real towns, broken. And most of them never got an apology, never got an explanation, never got a second chance. They just got silence. The same silence you hear when you stand inside one of those empty factories today. No machines, no voices, no life, just walls and echoes and the ghost of something that used to matter. This was America. The America that built things, the America that worked, the America that kept its promises. And for the people who lived it, who gave their sweat and their youth and their bodies to those factory floors, this isn't history. This is their life. If you care about stories like this, about the people who built this country and what happened to them, subscribe to the channel. This is a place where we don't just talk about history, we talk about the lives behind it.